KJP, was she a little hungry? I don't know. Big boy news conference this evening. I don't know if we'll be in Chester County. I'll be in Chester County, in Westchester, 15th South Church Street. I hope to see you there in Westchester, Pennsylvania for Trump Force 47. You better be there. All right. If you're in the area of Westchester, not too far from Westchester University, where my husband, the great Larry Menti, graduated, and also my stepkids, Stacia and Jonathan, went to Westchester University. So it's not too far from Westchester. So it's sort of between Gay and High Street, if you know the area. 15 South Church Street. Be there tonight for Trump Force 47 and launching this new office. So I'm one of the speakers that'll be there. And we told you about the fact that Scott Pressler, I think Scott was at the Bucks County launch, and then Kathy Barnett was the keynote speaker. That I attended that one in Montgomery County a couple weeks ago. But it's going to be a lot of fun. They'll have some refreshments. It'll be great. Lots of people. And it's going to feel good because, of course, the heat wave, we're done with it for now. By the way, we could see some heavy rain tomorrow. Just a quick forecast update as we talk about that. So we'll get into Biden. I do want to look into the origin story because I love to, this is my, the news person in me. I love to look at, how did this evolve? So as far as KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, and not getting a lot of love from the media lately. And so in a moment where I think it was an off-the-cuff comment where she labeled this a big boy news conference. And I'll get into that and get your take as well, as she talked about the big boy news conference and then how later it was, they were, I guess, trying to mitigate the fact that she actually said the quiet part out loud. So we, and I don't, do you have that audio? Because I did send you guys that audio with KJP and then as well. So you had two different, John Kirby, then repeating her. But I think that this is an interesting contrast, and it shows some of the division even within the communications office. When you have a DEI hire, and I never say this, I hate to say it, because KJP, she reminds me of sort of that Shirley Temple look with all the ringlets and the cherub little like round face. And I think that's maybe what they thought, oh, she's sort of a black Shirley Temple, which is ironic because Shirley Temple black, right, when she got married. And I don't know, we could make a play there, but she has this cherub little innocent looking face. I think the media was very kind to her, and she never seems to be in command of what she's talking about. And she seems very thrown off lately, as since June 26th, that disastrous debate performance in which it wasn't just a forgetful moment or, oh, I had a bad night. I think that we cannot unsee what we saw the night of June 26th. That debate it pulled the Band-Aid off the scale, whatever you want to call it, right? We've looked at that, and I think the nation saw it and thought, woof, you know what? I'll take Trump. I think that's even people who maybe didn't, and we see this now. We see many people who are going to be speaking at the Republican National Convention were people who said, who's this Trump guy? Oh boy, Trump. Now they're saying, yeah, you know what? After his 4 years, and now we can look back and say, hey, Trump knew what he was doing. Peace and prosperity. And that's what we're seeing over and over. Do we have that comparison, the side by side? So let's listen to this. This is KJP, and then you're going to hear John Kirby. And we've heard about divisions within the communications office, as she's now irked by somebody who has a lot more experience. KJP, not so much. But remember when she came into the job, and she loved reminding people as to the fact that she's the first, because she's an immigrant, she's African-American, she's gay. I forget, I can't even remember. She checked a whole bunch of boxes, and she was very proud of that. And they really heralded that until, it gets important. And you realize this is an important job. And just listen.
The president will hold a press conference, I guess a big boy press conference is what we're calling it, and take some questions from y'all. This week,
President Biden will speak to national labor leaders of AFL-CIO, hold a press conference, a big boy press conference, according to Justin Sink from Bloomberg.
A big boy press conference. So she is doubling down on this. And then you hear John Kirby kind of looking like, why would she say that? But they're still using it, the big boy news conference. I know some people are saying they did it on purpose. I don't believe that. I believe that John Kirby, if you look at his body language, even he's just kind of if you could read the thought bubble in his head, he's like, really, are you serious? This is what we're saying. But it really, to me, I cannot imagine. And I want to ask you, imagine if the spokespeople working in a Trump administration in 2016 to 2020, or in the future, Trump Force 47, can you even imagine if somebody who worked for a Trump administration called a Trump news conference a big boy news conference? They'd be fired. That is absurd. And to me, it's demeaning. And it's referring to somebody as, somebody who's a senior citizen who clearly is having mental acuity issues. And perhaps, by all accounts, if we now believe all of these accounts, that maybe he's been seeing a Parkinson's expert or certainly a neurologist and getting some kind of treatment. And this mystery health issue. But to treat the most powerful individual in the country, the commander-in-chief of the United States of America, and this is how they, behind the scenes apparently, refer to him. Oh, it's a big boy news conference. It's demeaning, it's demoralizing, and no wonder that people after June 26, voters said, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. I'm going back to that peace and prosperity guy, and I don't care if I didn't like some of his tweets because they liked his actions. He got things done. He gets things done. And that's why Trump, I believe, will win in a landslide. I believe at this point, it won't even be close. Let's just hope and pray, right? Just this morning, another new poll, and we brought you this as breaking news, came out. And this was ABC. I mean, certainly this is not a right-wing conspiracy, if that's what you're thinking. This was an ABC News poll, and working with the Washington Post, 85% calling Biden too old for another term. 2/3 say that he should quit the race. 2/3 of Americans, this is the lead story, ABC News, Washington Post, and all the so-called liberal media picking this up this morning because it's a breaking news story. And this was embargoed. They released it. It was embargoed until after 6 a.m. Right? So we couldn't say it. I don't know. I never really understand that whole embargo thing because I think to myself, you released it right at 5:55. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should say it in the 6 a.m. news. But 2/3 of Americans in a new ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll, including a majority of Democrats, these are Democrat voters, say Joe Biden should step aside as his party's presumptive nominee for president, given his widely criticized performance in his debate against Donald J. Trump 2 weeks ago. 67, this is just damning. 67% overall say Biden should withdraw from the race right now. More, 85% now say he is too old for a second term, and that's a new high, 85%. And that's up from an already broad, the other polls that came out in April that were 68% a year ago. All right, so we have not seen these numbers. So ABC is, it was produced for ABC by Langer Research Associates. So it's langerresearch.com if you want to look at it for yourself. With the field work by Ipsos, they find Trump leading Biden handily by 30 percentage points, 44 to 14% in being seen as having the mental sharpness it takes to serve effectively as president. Trump's lead is about as wide in being seen as having the physical health to serve, and his advantages on both have widened since April. This is damaging to Biden, and his job approval rating is stable. It's at a weak 36%. Biden continues to have a better personal favorability rating. That's what they're saying. Biden leads Trump by 17 points, 39 to 22%, in being seen as more honest and trustworthy. But that number is about the same that we've seen since April, according to these numbers, okay? That they're saying, who do they trust on a personal basis? I would also say this is, to me, a good example of how the media, the so-called liberal, media that they claim they're objective, they're not. But this is the impact of the media and even social media. But let's think about this. So ABC News and the Washington Post, they're the ones putting this out. But they are influencers, and you and I, we know that. 855-839-1210 if you want to comment. We know this. But this is the influence of the media. So on one hand, for 2 weeks, we the people in the public, we've been pounded with the media messages of, oh, he's too old. Oh, he's not fit. Oh, he should quit the race. Are you surprised now that this new poll comes out this morning? Lo and behold, look at the poll. The 2/3 of Americans say Joe Biden's too old. Joe Biden should quit. Joe Biden's not fit. But they say, well, but he's nice and he's trustworthy. Well, of course, because they've been pounding the same media that's been pounding everybody saying he's too old and should withdraw, etc. That's the same media that has been saying that, well, Biden, he's a nice man. And, we can trust him. And Trump's a liar, right? That's the same media. And now they poll everybody, and lo and behold, that's what they're saying. It shows you the influence of the media. But just remember, this is the same media who did not, in my humble opinion, who did not focus enough on the failing policies and the results of those, the deadly results of those policies. Look at the border. Look at the economy. Look at the economy and the economic policies, jobs. Think about all of it. 855-839-1210. I'll take a quick call. This is Ed. Hey, Ed, Delran, how are you?
From dusk till dawn, I can listen to Dynamite Dawn.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, it was time for me to give you a rhyme because you haven't gotten one for quite some time. So now, isn't it beautiful? Because here's the way I'm looking at this whole thing now. The truth shall set you free. Because let me tell you something. All these cover-ups, all these liars, all these protectors of Joe Biden now are all exposed for just how lying and dirty they are.
Yeah. Amen.
It's a beautiful thing, my dear.
Yes. Ed, thank you. And
You're welcome.
I think that for the media, this is the other problem. I think that because we have so many individuals who are becoming more and more media savvy, and that's what I've told you about some different celebrities, even African-American celebrities, TikTok influencers, all of that. Ed, thanks so much. We have some garble we need to take out. We appreciate you, Ed. But I think that you hear so many different influencers saying, hey, we're not buying this anymore. And what have you done for me lately? So that's another piece of this, that as with Joe Biden and this administration taking certain segments of the population for granted, and rich people, wealthy people, we're seeing the celebrities, George Clooney. By the way, my husband, Larry Menti, played basketball with George Clooney when Larry was a host of Access Hollywood. Pretty good basketball player. Larry said George Clooney's actually, he said, back, he was a nice guy, smart guy. He's gone all political, though.
Yeah, I guess when you had it all for that long, you got to lose it at some point.
It's the privileged elite.
Yeah.
But isn't it weird that Republicans have always been painted by the left and by media as, the 1% percenters, the wealthy. we see this shift in the party now. And so that's now think about who's rallying around or against Joe Biden. All of these celebs. And I love the Truth Social post. I mean, we actually should pull Sean Farish, who was reading from Trump's Truth Social post this morning. That audio, I mean, that is priceless because he read it perfectly.
Yeah, I'll go see if I can.
Yeah,
find
if we
that.
could play that. Sean Farish made my day today just reading that, and it just sounds exactly like Trump. It's amazing to me. He's so talented. But when you think about that and what Trump put out there, which, by the way, is also true, because Clooney, he was a darling on TV back in the day on NBC, the same network that Trump was on, by the way. And he was a TV doctor, and everybody loved him. And then, yeah, he went into the movies, and he kind of plays that same character. So not a great movie actor, but he was fantastic on TV, and he was really well liked. And now he's this biggity big, very wealthy movie star, TV actor, and writes this piece, this big op-ed piece saying, I love Joe Biden, but Joe has got to go. I'm summarizing, obviously. And so we're seeing the fallout from that. Then we learn that Clooney had a phone conversation, apparently, with former President Barack Obama. And they're painting this as if Clooney wanted to just make sure Barack was cool with it. I actually think it's the other way around. I have to wonder if top Democrats, even Obama, if they're reaching out to some of these celebrities who very recently were with Joe Biden fundraising for him, are they coming out now at the request? Because, it'd be a bad look if Obama came out and said, Joe, Joe, you got to go. It's time. You got to move over. We'll try out Kamala or whatever. Now, I have a question. What if, maybe this is crazy, but could a past president, if they identify as a different gender, could they rerun? Could they run for president? Does that count? Are you a new person? Because, presidents have term limits, but what if you wear a wig and then you identify as, a different they, them, or whatever?
This sounds like a new Supreme Court case. You just unearthed. Sure, we'll be seeing that soon enough. All the arguments for and against.
Because trust me, what if Obama could run for a third term? He's only in his early 60s. He's youthful, very popular, and that how would he poll? He would probably win. I would imagine. Would he win if he could run against Trump right now?
Yeah.
If he could jump into it.
Probably. Yeah, I'd say
because
so.
the media would they would be so excited about it.
Probably get a lot of the independents as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm way off here. But this is how the Democrats, they're all thinking about this. Who can run? Who do we have?
Yeah, I don't think they have anybody. That's the only other thing.
That's just it, Henry Mashit. So we also have, and we can have some fun with this. Around the corner, we'll have some fun with who predicted this. We'll also talk about some serious, and this is serious, as we talk about NATO. Obviously, we're waiting for this biggity big 5:30 big boy news conference with Biden wrapping up NATO. But what have they been doing behind the scenes, as even world leaders recognize that Trump is probably going to be the 47th president? He's going to be back. And so what insurance policies will they put into place, or are they scheming to put into place? I want to get into that, and this is very serious as we look toward Biden. Is it a make it or break it big boy news conference? And then we'll have some fun with it. Who predicted Trump as POTUS? And we'll play that audio for you. So much happening locally, statewide, nationally, and yes, TikTok. We're watching some important court cases unfolding as I speak. This is the Dawn Show. I appreciate you being here, and I sure will appreciate you if you can show up in Westchester this evening for Trump Force 47. So the groundbreaking of Trump Force 47 in Chester County. You got to be there. 855-839 839-1210 is the number to call at Dawn Stensland on X. Be right back.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Our bike ride is coming up Sunday, July 21st. So if you want to sign up, if you want to ride, get to gregstockersucks.com. Almost at $16,000. If we get another 4,000 or so in, Greg Stocker will have to ride 65 miles. And a big shout out to David Gelman and GelmanLawFirm.com for being our jersey sponsor. These beautiful jerseys if you're going to ride on our team this year.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
If you're looking to furnish your home or replace your old furniture, your journey begins and ends at Bucks County Estate Traders. One piece of advice, make sure you have time when you come here. The 58,000 square foot showroom is a furniture wonderland. Quality high-end pieces with inventory changing daily. It's all here. Mid-century modern, traditional, vintage, antique, and name brands. They'll ship anywhere, or you can pick up in-store. Bucks County Estate Traders in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatетraders.com.
Why shop at Gerhardt's Appliances? Since 1945, we've been the local appliance store known for our package deals, exclusive rebates, and personalized customer service. We have laundry pairs starting at $8.99, 4-piece stainless steel kitchen packages from $14.99, and free local shipping over $3.99. We service what we sell. We give back to our community and yours. So shop small and save big. Gerhardt's Appliances, the heart of Philly's kitchen for over 75 years.
Did you know you can stream Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app? Just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio to hear the voices you trust. Brian Kilmeade.
Why are we so scared of Iran thinking they were at war with them?
Guy Benson.
Get the bleep out of here. It's disgusting.
Jimmy Fallon.
Then this administration rolled into town with a checkbook.
Are all on the free Odyssey app. From the news and talk to keep you informed and up to date during election season. Listen to Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
So Donald J. Trump and Republicans gearing up and getting ready for the big RNC. Our own Rich Zeoli will be there. I'm trying to talk Rich into maybe he'll even call in for us live and give us some little RNC updates. I wish I were there. I wish I were there in Milwaukee with Zeoli and with everybody. But most of the things, if you remember when we covered, especially live, the DNC that was here in Philadelphia and, for the 2016 upcoming race, most everything really breaks in the afternoon. That's the bigger time. So Zeoli's going to have it all. It's going to be amazing and awesome. And so we'll be covering that. But Republicans gearing up for that. By the way, that also puts pressure on statewide Republicans here to get the budget done. So we'll talk about the Pennsylvania budget because they got to travel. They got to get out of here, certainly. So I'm thinking this budget it has to wrap up today, and they got to travel tomorrow to get there in place for the big RNC traveling to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So we'll talk about all of that, getting your thoughts on everything I've been talking about. 855-839-1210, the number to call. Let's head in with, this is Jack in Huntington Valley. Hey, Jack.
Good morning, Dawn. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling, Jack.
Thanks. Dawn, I've been saying for a year that Biden can't be the nominee, and it's been a year I've been saying it because it's been a year since the plea deal was destroyed by the judge in Delaware. the criminal trial for Hunter can't happen. It can't happen in October because the entire contents of the laptop come in. That's everything. And here's is proof of that too. David Axelrod hasn't just recently come out and said that Biden can't be the nominee. He's been saying it since October of 2023. He has. Remember that everyone thought he was unhinged because he was sending all these texts about that in October, starting in October of 2023, and he's never backed down. And obviously, Axelrod is Obama. They're one and the same.
Yeah. Agreed.
This can't happen. It's already, he's done. I don't care what, this is absurd, this press conference. It doesn't matter. He's gone. And what's going to happen is he's going to have to resign, and he's going to pardon his son for these all criminal charges. Well, sir, it doesn't matter about the gun charge. That doesn't mean anything. It's the upcoming tax evasion. He's going to pardon him on the way out.
Yeah.
Because that has to happen. That's the whole enchilada.
Yes.
And I think that the powers that be would rather lose the election than have all of that stuff come out, because that's even more damaging. And can I just add one other thing, Dawn?
Sure.
That I don't think is getting a whole lot of attention. The Sotomayor dissent in that presidential immunity case is the most disingenuous thing I've ever read. It's the most disingenuous thing I've read since the letter signed by the 51 FBI officials.
Yes.
And they're using it the same way. What all of the media is saying is that, well, this is the state of the law is that the current president can do whatever he wants without fear of criminal reprisal. And that's why you can't elect Donald Trump. It's the same playbook. They do this all the time. They have someone else say something, and then they point to that person who's allegedly in authority and say, oh, my God. If what Sotomayor, and I know I'm jumping it, it sounds like these are disparate issues, but they're not. If what Sotomayor is saying about the majority opinion is correct, then the current state of the law is that the current president can kill a political opponent, and there's nothing you can do about it. And just to further put a point on this, if Joe Biden or the current president really believes that Donald Trump was an insurrectionist and believes that if he wins, that he will destroy the Constitution, then the current president has to kill him, not can kill him, is constitutionally mandated to kill him, because the presidential oath says you have to protect the Constitution against all enemies, domestic and foreign. Boy.
Yeah.
Boy. I mean, I know that sounds absurd. It sounds absurd, but it's the logical conclusion that you have to make. That dissent is crazy, and for that reason, I also think she's going to retire, because I don't know how you can come back and have any type of relationship with your colleagues after you issue that decision.
Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate great thoughtful call. Thanks a million, Jack. Really appreciate it. I will upcoming. There was just an interview this morning, actually, with Representative James Comer, Republican from Kentucky, as you know, talking about Hunter Biden and talking about Joe Biden, but also talking about Hunter. And one of the headlines from that is that, you know, he's saying essentially Hunter Biden's criminal case is a national security nightmare. And that is part of this, that laptop and what else is on the laptop. And that's why I had said, and this is a local story technically, right? The laptop was from a little Delaware laptop store. Rich Scioli has done multiple interviews with that laptop business owner who was basically chased out of Delaware and his life, you know, ruined for a time, right? And so we heard all of this. And now we're learning more about what is on that laptop. So what was significant to me about that Delaware court case was when that laptop was entered into evidence. They've got it. So the question is, well, what else? What else was on that thing? So upcoming in the segments to come, you'll hear Comer talking about this, Congressman Comer, and what he is demanding and the so-called family business. But first son Hunter Biden in the headlines again. By the way, yesterday dropped his attempt at that new trial after federal prosecutors really ripped into him for what they say is that he misunderstood the appellate practice and the failure to read the court orders. By the way, first son Hunter Biden, remember, he's an Ivy League educated attorney, 54 years old, convicted in June, as you know, related to lying about his drug addiction to obtain a firearm, etc. So he filed the motion for a new trial, remember, back in June 24th, claiming that the Delaware federal judge, Mary Ellen Noriega, did not have jurisdiction over the trial known as a mandate because of pending rulings in his appeals case. Prosecutors from the special counsel David Weiss's office pointing out in their response that the Philadelphia-based Third Circuit Court of Appeals had already given the judge the go-ahead to try Hunter, and a detail that was obviously missed somehow by Hunter and his attorneys. But you'll hear Comer upcoming, and so that I just wanted to give you that update. And there's so much swirling this morning with all these different court cases. So 855-839-1210. Quickly, I would just want to get to Phil's call. And Phil is actually calling from Wilmington. Hey, Phil.
Hey, good morning, and thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure.
You are correct. The Biden family certainly, everybody knows everybody's business in Delaware. And just a quick side story, probably about 25 years ago, our family owned a store in Wilmington, and Joe was a regular customer. And I can tell you at least 3 times he paid by check that came back non-sufficient funds. And I always had to chase after his dad, Charlie, to make the checks good. So it's nothing new, his way of feeling that he's anointed and better than thou. But the real point that I was calling about was, one, Krasner and the Temple police officer,
Sergeant Christopher Fitzgerald.
Amazing. Oh. Not that he was accidentally shot, not that it was a mile away and it was a sniper. He was right up on him, and when he felt that he wasn't dead, he shot him point blank, trying to destroy his face and head. And Krasner's feeling is, well, everybody can get a second chance. Come on.
Yeah. So I appreciate you bringing that up, Phil, and I know that the family, the Fitzgerald family, Marissa, is supported by the community, not just with upcoming fundraisers. And we at WPHT have attended, many of the fundraisers for the families and the 5 Fitzgerald children and too many widows, right, of law enforcement, whether state police or Sergeant Fitzgerald. Thank you so much for calling. I will say this around the corner. You will hear from Marissa, the widow of Sergeant Chris Fitzgerald, and she's speaking to the exact point. And you're going to hear this. And she speaks about playing that video, surveillance video showing, you can't even imagine a widow and family members, the parents, who played that very video, surveillance video, for the team of DA Larry Krasner. And what she says about it is just, it'll make your blood boil, but at the same point, it's just heartbreaking. So we'll play that around the corner. Just to wrap up the piece about Hunter Biden, remember he has emerged as a key figure in his dad's administration following Biden's disastrous debate performance against DJT, against Trump. Remember, Hunter Biden is facing a potential sentence of up to 25 years behind bars when he is sentenced later this year, though obviously nobody actually thinks he'll spend a day behind bars, okay? And nobody thinks that they're going to even propose such a heavy sentence. But that's the potential. That's the max, 25 years. We don't have a sentencing date by Judge Noriega, okay? And we know that there are some polls out there that are saying that 60% of Americans, 59% Democrats, agreed with the verdict in the Delaware trial, with nearly half also saying Hunter deserves a prison sentence, that he deserves justice, that nobody's above the law, okay? But yesterday, just so you know, the lead Hunter Biden defense attorney, Abby Lowell, who's talked a lot about in the media, filed that brief admitting, as it appears, the Third Circuit here in Philadelphia views issuing that order in lieu of a mandate as compliant with procedure for shortening the time for issuance of a mandate. I know this is a lot of legalese, but at the end of the day, this was a ruling that just happened, meaning they dropped that appeal to have a new trial. That's the bottom line on that. On the other side, you will hear more about all of this, and I'll update you on the Sergeant Fitzgerald case. There are some new developments as well. I really appreciate you being here. 855-839-1210, number to call. And, we got to talk about road trip season. My family, we're nailing down some of our plans. We'll be driving down south, as I say, every summer. For my youngest son, David, he's in the Junior Olympics every year competing in track and field. So we've got we are road trip ready. Are you? You got to know if your vehicle is road trip ready. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're always going to help make sure that your family is safe on the roads this summer. These service centers of the Piazza Premium dealers, they not only handle all your regular stuff, your regular maintenance, right, but also diagnose possible issues before they can happen. So just schedule a service appointment online today. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. You can count on them, and you can find that dealer nearest you because there is power in Piazza, the Piazza Auto Group, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey. Tell them Dawn sent you.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Inflation fears started in 2021. The warning signs were everywhere. But Senator Bob Casey ignored the warnings and sided with the liberals in Washington, voting for trillions in reckless, wasteful spending. And all that reckless spending made inflation worse, driving up prices on almost everything you buy. Now, Pennsylvania families are paying the price for Senator Casey's reckless spending. Our state's been hit the hardest by higher prices. With Senator Casey's reckless spending, grocery prices are up 25%. Rent, it's up 21%, and electricity's up 29%. Senator Casey helped create this mess, and now Pennsylvania families are struggling to make ends meet. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act, and fight against inflationary government spending. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
By registering for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event, you'll see real statements from Crash Proof Retirement clients documenting how the exclusive Crash Proof Retirement system credits double-digit interest returns, even during the worst of recent stock market downturns.
Rob Lukens, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. During COVID, when everything was going down in the stock market, we saw our investment with Crash Proof grow 15%, which was unheard of. Markets weren't growing that way. The interest we made through Crash Proof's investments, we keep it. We don't lose anything. We keep every penny that we invested. The worst that's going to happen is you keep your money. Crash Proof gives me great peace of mind. And I would recommend anybody who sees this or hears this to give Crash Proof a call. Pick the phone up, call. It's simple.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Downingtown Country Club, July 23rd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb. Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Keswick Theater welcomes the Oak Ridge Boys on August 2nd, the Little River Band August 10th, and the Righteous Brothers on August 20th. Tickets are on sale at keswicktheater.com. That's keswicktheater.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Headlines within the past 6 hours, less than 6 hours this morning. So 45 minutes ago, Biden campaign attacks Trump over ties to right-wing Project 2025. They won't let this go. That's all they have right now. Project 2025, which Trump never wrote, has nothing to do with him. It's a think tank, Heritage Foundation. We've talked a lot about this, and this is lame if this is all they have. New York Times 6 hours ago, what is Project 2025 and why is Trump disavowing it? NPR, it seems like Project 2025 is everywhere, but what is it? No, why? Why is Project 2025 one think tank, which all the different think tank, liberal, progressive, conservative, they all have their different projects, right? But suddenly they're focusing on this. So, 34 minutes ago, the New York Times editorial board declares Trump unfit to lead. Ha ha, what a joke. Give me a break. And then MSNBC, 1 hour ago, Donald Trump is unfit to lead. So these are the headlines. Project 2025 and now the New York Times, which really should be designated as a DNC fundraising operation, right, in disguise, claiming to be a journalist. What a joke. Claiming to be a journalistic organization. Wow. Trump and potential VP J.D. Vance disagree over nasty GOP House primary. These are the headlines. It's all nasty, ugly. So the headlines now, they're trying to flip it and put Trump in the headlines. It's not working, right? It's just not. So we'll talk about that in a moment. You will hear the latest about Hunter Biden. I have some Trump news I want to give you, but I want to begin, especially since some of you have called about this. This is a local news story wrapping up what happened with the news conference and the family of Sergeant Chris Fitzgerald. So I just want you to know this. I want you to hear this and think about the district attorney, the DA, Larry Krasner in Philadelphia, a coward who had met with the family. The family had come together and begged, made a plea for the death penalty to be on the table and that a jury and a judge would have that on the table because they knew the family of murdered Sergeant Chris Fitzgerald. They knew that Krasner in the past, who's a far left progressive individual, had said that the death penalty is unconstitutional. So they went to him just simply making a plea that he not take it off the table. As the DA, he has the power to do that. And they were simply saying, leave it there for a judge and a jury to consider. That's all they were asking. So Krasner didn't have to make the decision. He just had to be respectful of the family, of the process, and of the decision by a future jury and judge. That's all they were asking for. So just keep that in mind as you think about this. And I can't even wrap my brain around this kind of grief that this family, this surreal grief that this family has had to cope with now for more than 17 months after this husband and father of 5 young children, after this father was gunned down in an execution-style manner, according to all accounts. All right, let's listen in. Henry, remind me, whose report was this with Chris, with the family holding the news conference?
Joe Holden.
It's CBS 3, Joe Holden, who essentially, if you remember the award-winning great Walt Hunter, who's now retired, Joe basically is the young Walt Hunter, even kind of looks like him. But Joe Holden does a great job, and he's at CBS 3, station where I worked for many years as well. And this is the report as Joe Holden had covered the news conference by the Fitzgerald family.
The phone call taking the death penalty off the table for accused killer Miles Pfeffer came a day before his formal arraignment on a charge of first-degree murder. Attorneys for the Bucks County man, who was not present, entered a not guilty plea. Family of Christopher Fitzgerald reacted to the turn of events during an afternoon news conference over Zoom.
It's like a nightmare that replays over and over and over. And it's like you want to wake up and you can't wake up.
Fitzgerald, a married Temple University officer and father of 4 children, was fatally shot following a robbery in February of 2023.
He made sure that my husband was not going to get up off of that street. That's not, that right there doesn't deserve 30. That doesn't deserve, that deserves life without parole or the death penalty.
Outside court, attorney Joe Marone, who represents the Fitzgerald family, railed over the death penalty withdrawal. This despite Krasner's lengthy record of opposition to capital punishment.
It's unfortunate and it's disturbing. We know that it sends a horrible message to the public, right? And it sends a very, very horrible message to law enforcement.
In a statement to CBS News Philadelphia, a spokesperson for Krasner explained about a DA's office committee that reviews possible death penalty matters. Quote, they reviewed all aspects of the case itself and all obtainable information on the defendant prior to making the recommendations to DA Krasner, who made the final determination. The DA's office declined to answer follow-up questions. The Fitzgerald family said Krasner should be recalled by Philadelphia voters due to, quote, ineffective performance. They're also asking the state attorney general to take over the prosecution.
He set a precedent, and that precedent is he's not going to go after anyone who commits crimes as heinous as capital murders against law enforcement officers, against your next door neighbor, your mother, your sister, your brother. He doesn't care. He will not pursue the ultimate penalty.
The union.
And so, and there was another point when Sergeant Fitzgerald's widow, Marissa, had expressed the fact that they went early on to the DA's office, and there was a room full of, the ADAs, as they're called, the prosecution team. Krasner was in the room, as well as the family, and they wanted to make sure that the district attorney's office saw that tape, that surveillance tape in its entirety of Chris Fitzgerald, exactly what happened. And so what they're saying is that this individual who's accused in this, who was 18 at the time, now 19, who's still facing trial and has been behind bars now for 17 months, that initially shot Christopher, shot him 3 times, and then as he was wounded, as the officer is wounded, fully uniformed officer is wounded, down on the ground, that you see then the individual at closer range pointing that firearm at the officer's head and shooting 3 times. 3 more. The officer, or Sergeant Chris Fitzgerald, was shot a total of 6 times. And so what Marissa had said, the widow Fitzgerald, what she had said was that after they played that video for all to see, she said there was not a dry eye in the room with one exception. Krasner. Krasner was the only person not crying in that room. Everyone else, I mean, it was difficult to watch. I can't even imagine the family, but they felt they went through that heartache. I mean, it gives me chills when I think about that. Can you even imagine? But that they, through their pain and their grief, they were saying, please, God, don't take this off the table. Just let a jury decide. Let the jury and judge, let this move forward, because they knew, they suspected. And there was Krasner. Everybody else is just sobbing, except one person. I have no words for this man except to say that he has no respect, just no respect for law enforcement, because you know what? He's the first one to judge when a law enforcement officer even might make a mistake on the job, might think somebody is reaching for a gun, etc. He's the first one that wants to convict an officer who's serving and makes a mistake, or maybe doesn't make the mistake, but Krasner wants to claim he did, whatever that is. But when an officer does anything on the job, Krasner is chomping at the bit and jumping in to charge that officer with the max and trying to put them away for the rest of their lives. And that's the problem I see here. This is somebody who is anti-law enforcement, and that's not what we want for somebody who's a district attorney. Of course, I want a DA to root out any bad apples who if they are not fulfilling their oath as law enforcement. Of course, by the way, anybody who's a good cop wants those bad apples, so-called, to be rooted out, right? And would agree with that. But that's not what this is. So that's why the family now thinking about different strategies and making an appeal here to say, you know what, this DA is not fit. We want a special prosecutor. We feel that now justice will not be served with Krasner in charge of this trial. So what happens next? We have to watch this very carefully. And, we love this family and we support this family. And this is why for many years now, my family personally has supported the families behind the Badge Children's Foundation. And as you well know, WPHT Talk Radio 1210 for years has held fundraisers and joined in the belief that we need to support our law enforcement, families behind the Badge Children's Foundation. It's fbbcf.org, Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation. As you know, our own Nick Hale is riding in the upcoming, that's the upcoming event that's coming up in just a couple weeks. But you don't have to ride. If you have plans that weekend or you can't make it, you can still please pledge your support, because the Fitzgerald family, and by the way, there are 5 Fitzgerald children, because remember, with his wife Marissa, his widow, there are 4 kids, and by an ex, there's his namesake, Chris Jr., a little boy who's without his daddy. So 5 children. But that's not it. I mean, we've interviewed, and you know this, so many different law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty or injured in the line of duty. And some of their widows and family members, you know, that I've interviewed, all of us over the years. Rich Cioli, of course, the best year was when he was in the dunk tank, and that was a lot of fun, raised a ton of money. But I just hope you go to either gregstockersucks.com, that site, or fbbcf.org, and this is the way you can support our local law enforcement and mental health, well-being, expanding support for first responders, celebrating the heroes, honoring the heroes, the grants that help the kids with their futures. There's so much. The Police Youth Alliance, there's grant giving, there's volunteerism. So there's so many ways. I hope you do support our Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation, something that you can do. Okay, I've gone way over here. We have a lot to update. And I want to update you upcoming 855-839-1210. I want to update you as well on the meaning of today, July 11th. This was supposed to be a date in American history that the left, they were just salivating for July 11th. And I want to remind you of what this date, the significance in our American history, what this was supposed to be. Thank God it didn't happen. But I want to take you through and remind you the significance of this day, July 11th. Do you remember what was supposed to happen today and what we're talking about now and the turn of events? This is why I keep the faith. 855-839-1210. We'll talk about that. You want to hear the latest on what Republicans in the House of Representatives are doing, the latest on Hunter Biden, Donald J. Trump, his response to all of this, Joe Biden, and local news as well. We've got it all covered. There is so much breaking. Stay right there. This is The Dawn Show. I'm Dawn Stensland at Dawn Stensland. Be right back.
Virtua Health, real patients, real doctors, real complex cases. Take one.
Open heart surgery, tear in my aorta.
The most complex cases come to us at Virtua Health.
I'm sure I wouldn't have been here without you.
Being a 45-year-old, not being able to walk up one flight of stairs, I had no idea I was in heart failure.
Virtua is a premier heart failure center in South Jersey.
They changed my life. It's truly a blessing.
Want to follow our stories? Go to virtua.org. Virtua Health, here for good.
July savings are going on now at Hessert Chevrolet with savings on Silverados and Blazer EVs. Drive home a 2024 Blazer EV with 1.9 APR for 36 months up to $3,500 off MSRP, or a new Silverado 1500 for $389 per month for 36 months with $4,500 off MSRP. July savings are here at Hessert Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Visit HessertChevrolet.com today. Call 267-343-9094 for details.
Your way or no way at Hessert Chevrolet.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Don't count on summer heat to melt away those extra pounds. That doesn't work. But here's something that does work, and that's NJ Diet. For over a decade, NJ Diet has helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. No shots, no prepackaged meals, and no surgery. NJ Diet is fully supervised every step of the way to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations close by are available from anywhere with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. Lose the weight for good.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You know that I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games. And the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open up the app, dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And during the summer, FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day all summer long. Head over to FanDuel.com/Dom and make the most out of your summer. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, FanDuel official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. You have to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Wager requirements apply. Bonuses awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets or profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including bonus expiration. See terms and conditions at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
So the New York Times, the progressive liberal media that claims to be objective, their editorial board, they have lost their collective minds. New York Times, in this black and white photo that shows Trump, looks like in court from one of the past court cases, walking. So it's a shot from behind Trump, and it says Donald Trump is unfit to lead by the editorial board. This is the New York Times. This is a desperate attempt to get Joe Biden out of the headlines. That's what this is. It says, instead of a cogent vision for the country's future, Mr. Trump is animated by a thirst for political power. To use the levers of government to advance his interests, satisfy his impulses, and exact retribution against those who he thinks have wronged him. He is quite simply unfit to lead. This is from the New York Times this morning. The stakes and significance, it goes on to write, of the presidency demand a person who has essential qualities and values to earn our trust, and on each one, Donald Trump fails. When someone fails so many foundational tests, you don't give him the most important job in the world. So it's actually a 5,000-word essay warning all voters, trying to influence all voters. Gee, we've never seen anybody in the media, so-called journalists, trying to influence voters. And this is another lame attempt by the liberal media. And if you have a New York Times subscription, everybody needs to do what we did back. Remember this? when everybody just started canceling subscriptions to the New York Times. And remember, they had to apologize to Trump before the 2016 election. You remember this? They finally did apologize and they admitted that they were writing lies. They're the liar. But, just to go through that, 855-839-1210, if you want to vent about it, think about it as they say that he's just doing this for political power. First of all, that makes no sense because he is somebody at 78 years old, and even back in 2016, this guy, he's got a good life. He has a beautiful wife. He has a beautiful family. You saw him even the other day, and I couldn't stop playing that yesterday, as you know, because I couldn't get over how joyful Trump was at his most recent rally in Miami. It's hot. He's out there and he's saying like how he's melting and sweating, and he says, well, we all know we're soaking wet. So once you realize that, just like give it up, have fun, be together. This is somebody who chooses joy. He is somebody who is persecuted right now. He has seen and experienced the weaponization of our government at the highest levels. This is somebody who was living his best life, right? Celebrity. Everybody loved Donald J. Trump. Everybody sucked up to him. I'm sure that in the beginning, when he saw people turning on him, Mika and Joe, number 1 and number 2, because they used to suck up to him like nobody else. And they would go and stay at Mar-a-Lago, and, they loved that. This was actually, they were co-hosts, but they were not married to each other. Let's just put it that way. And they loved him and just sucked up to Donald Trump. And then they claimed, and now they claim that, well, he changed. He didn't change. He's the same. He's the same person. Consistent. They changed. This man has experienced the wrath of the left like nobody's business. And you know what? After COVID, and when we all saw, even we the people, we saw what it was like with the mask mandates. I mean, we lived through this, especially here in Philadelphia on the East Coast. Remember that? Do you remember this being on the Zioli show? We were still on the afternoons, and then Rich mentioned something. I was like, wow, I can't see that. I can't see what you're putting out. Zioli was being shadow banned. I was being shadow banned. Many of you that you were calling in, and it was weird. And we're like, what is going on? And then fast forward through all of this, what we've learned. Russia, the laptop. Oh, that's fake news. The 51 so-called biggity bigs. Remember this? The Steele dossier. I mean, all the lies that the media has been complicit. And whether they were complicit or whether it's biased by omission, so different levels of media influence. But this one, I will screenshot this. This is taking the cake. Donald Trump, unfit to lead, New York Times. You know why they have to put this out there today? And I saw this and I thought, you think about what a blessing today, July 11th. Thank God. Thank God that there is some justice in the heavens. Donald Trump putting this out on social media, and I subscribe to everything from the left, the right, everything. Trump writes, I could have gone to prison today, but because of you, because of the Supreme Court ruling, we won big, and they ran, and this is the Trump part, and I can't wait for Sean Farish tomorrow to say this. He says, quote, but because of you and because of the Supreme Court ruling, we won big, and they ran away like dogs with their tails between their legs. You can hear Trump saying this, and now I can hear, Sean Farish saying it. They ran away like dogs, dirty dogs. Yes, they did. And the dogs are now writing, Trump is unfit. Trump writes, they raided my home. They threatened the lives of my family. They used a rigged show trial to label me a felon. Radical left Democrats thought today would be the end of my campaign, July 11th, but instead, we're going to deliver them a humiliating defeat, and they'll never forget with your help. And so he's talking about really not only voters, but also that's part of the campaign to say, make it too big to fail. Everybody just get out there and vote. But he's not somebody, and this is where it's a lie, that the New York Times is claiming that he is going to weaponize government. Quite the opposite. And the other day I printed this out for our team as far as the agenda for the the platform of the RNC, where they're saying, let's make it so that nobody, no matter who, Democrats, Republicans, no matter who's in power, nobody can weaponize our government. Nobody can weaponize DOJ. So Trump is actually doing the exact opposite, in my humble opinion. And this is my opinion. He wants to do the opposite of what they're saying. He wants to make sure that we have more transparency. He wants to make sure that people cannot be the victim of a weaponized government. And that means regular, ordinary people. Look at J6ers, people who, and I soon will be interviewing a gentleman who's running for office in New Jersey. They're trying to take him down. He's running against Mikey Sherrill, by the way. They're trying to take him down because he's a bricklayer, an everyday Joe, who, because he attended the rally like many of you did on January 6th and went back to his hotel room that fateful day, January 6th, and then was surprised watching the coverage back in his hotel room, which he can prove, but was watching what then unfolded. They're trying to say he's a violent January 6er. No, he's not at all. And that's why he was never charged with any kind of violence against the law enforcement, nothing. But see, this is the weaponization. What they're moving toward is to try to say, if you were even there peacefully at a rally, well, you're a January 6th, you're a criminal. You should be behind bars. That's where they're going with this. No, they want to weaponize government. And they don't want Trump to get back in office because they know that he does fulfill his campaign promises. Just ask Israel. Bibi, by the way, Benjamin Netanyahu will be, remember, he will be addressing Congress upcoming. I hope he reminds them of that, how DJT kept his promises to Israel, which no other president, despite all the promises from presidents Republican and Democrat, nobody fulfilled the promises like Trump. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. So we have to talk about this, and this one takes the cake, I tell you. Donald Trump unfit to lead by the editorial board of the New York Times. They're very upset that DJT, remember, was supposed to go to court today, July 11th. He was supposed to be sentenced today. It was sentencing day for that convicted criminal. Remember that? But instead, there was no day. And when they look back in our nation's history, they can't say Donald J. Trump was sentenced to fill in the blank. July 11th. It was the sentencing day. Remember this? Oh, and they were salivating. So he was scheduled to be sentenced today, July 11th, this morning, with Judge Juan Merchan, who said the former president would be sentenced. Well, now he says he'll be sentenced September 11th, if such is still necessary. The case was postponed because, of course, the Supreme Court pushed back that case in which they said that, yes, during official acts, presidents do have immunity and that you have to look at these so-called unofficial acts as well. And so now this all, it kind of jumbles up their game plan. They wanted him to be sentenced. Unbelievable. Think about how nasty that is. In a case that was so biased and where they literally, I think, handcuffed the jurors into having no other choice. Remember, that was bizarre. And moving forward, that case, as legal minds will parse that and have already taken that apart. But Trump this is the first time in our nation's history that a U.S. president was criminally charged like this, convicted, and that happened in May, and then they were sentenced. There was a sentencing that was supposed to happen today. You think about that. Do you think that was good for America? Do you think that that's good for democracy? Especially, I mean, here we are, July 11th. We're so close to the upcoming election. A better man in the Oval Office, a better person, if you will, a better president, one with integrity, would have come out to the American people and said, no, we're not going to do this. Even before this even went to trial. No, I believe that this is wrong. I believe that the biggest jury is voters, right? We the people. Let voters decide. Let voters be the ultimate jury within our American system. And let voters take this into account. Let the voters decide whether DJT should move forward in his political career. I think that would have been an incredible move of great integrity. Can you imagine if President Joe Biden had come out and said something like that? But see, Democrats are too small to do such a thing. They couldn't wait. They were salivating over this. Oh, we want to see him. We want to see him in his orange. We want to see him behind bars. So think about the difference with that. That although Trump at some point kind of half, tongue-in-cheek said, yeah, lock her up or whatever, he never ever wanted to pursue any charges against Hillary Clinton, even though she had the server and allegedly, bleached things and whatever they did, right? Steele dossier, all of that. They never went after her. Let it go. Because that's not Trump. Trump has already proved that he does not believe in the weaponization. And so he went, what did Trump focus on? Did he focus on and obsess over what they did to him? When he got into office in 2016, did he go after Hillary? No, she was the one going on all the talk shows, if you remember, saying that essentially the election was stolen from her, remember? They don't talk about that. But did Trump say that he was going to weaponize government? Did he? Please refresh my memory. 855-839-1210. I don't remember that. Do you? Nope. What did he focus on? He focused on make America great again. That's what Trump did. Boom. There it is. All right. Let's go to a little bit of audio here. This is James Comer speaking. Oh, break. I have to take, darn it. All right. 855-839-1210. I just wanted to let that sink in, though, that this morning by now, 11:18 a.m., July 11th, this was the day Democrats were dreaming of. And think about how sick and disgusting that is. Shame on, and I'm not talking about Democrats as, if you're a Democrat and you're a voter as a Democrat, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about progressives and Democrats who are partisan career politicians, part of the swamp. That's. I just want to make sure that I if you're a Democrat a long time, I'm not talking about you. Unless you're a swamp monster, partisan Democrat leader and operative, right, within the Democrat Party. But I'm not talking about you as a voter. I'm never talking about we the people. Okay, you have your right to an opinion, and nobody should weaponize government against you or stop you from voting or knowing the truth. That's not what I'm talking about here. 855-839-1210. Man, I got so much to talk about, and we have a lot of audio that we've got to get to quickly. Be right back.
Join Team Kale and Company once again this year for the Bend to Shore Bike Tour on Sunday, July 21st. From Philly to Atlantic City, you can do the ride or just donate to support the cause. Visit bendtoshore.org. That's Ben, the number 2, shore.org. Let's show everyone how WPHT and Odyssey supports law enforcement. Bend to Shore is organized by Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation. SBBCF provides financial relief for the families of fallen and injured first responders and supports the Police Youth Alliance, which fosters a positive relationship between police and youth. Sponsored by Gelman Law. Need a criminal defense attorney or personal injury? Visit GelmanLawFirm.com.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue, For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano for my friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. His state-of-the-art facility makes your dentistry as easy as can be. Recently, they had a permanent tooth put in, and you know how it is. In the past, you bite down, it's too high, it's always too high. The back and forth getting it just right. Well, not this time. With Dr. Bentz, it fit perfectly the first time. Call the Bentz Dental Group now, 610-272-6949. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, 610-272-6949.
2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar are available in a can. Is there any better time than summer grilling season for a cold Jack and Coke? Jack and Coke in a can, born for the backyard. Available at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. Go to finewineandgoodspirits.com. Please drink responsibly.
Whiskey Specialty 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniels Properties, Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
Keswick Theater welcomes the Oak Ridge Boys on August 2nd, the Little River Band August 10th, and the Righteous Brothers on August 20th. Tickets are on sale at keswicktheater.com. That's keswicktheater.com.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Don Stensland, weekdays 10 till noon, only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
There is so much developing this hour as a judge is considering that lawsuit in Philadelphia over Mayor Sherelle Parker's return to office mandate for all Philadelphia city workers. Now, she knew full well that about 80% were already back to work. And you think about all the hardworking police officers, firefighters, EMS, all of the city workers, sanitation workers. I mean, so many workers and individuals who never had a minute off during the pandemic still had to work during the pandemic. And we talked a lot about that at the time. But we know that at least 4,000, can you believe this? At least, well, first of all, City Hall, just fairly recently we learned they have to come back full time. I think they're griping a little bit personally about it. But this is the Court of Common Pleas hearing this morning because, remember, Mayor Parker had said, hey, hello. She said this back in May. Everybody back to work by July 15th, which is upcoming. This is Monday. 20% of the city's workforce remains either working virtually, full-time, or hybrid, on a hybrid schedule. So this was then a lawsuit filed by AFSCME District Council 47, and they claim that the elimination of remote work would cause, quote, substantial harm for city workers and throw services into chaos. So Mayor Parker, did we air this already? Let's air this. This is Mayor Parker. This is what happened. She held a news conference yesterday, and this is why she's saying, you know, she's at war here, just trying to get people to come back to work because she's saying, hey, hello, pandemic's over, people. Listen in.
I am trying to go to war. I am at war. I'm at war, Philadelphia, with the status quo here in the city of Philadelphia. I made a decision that I stand by firmly. And that is in order to make good on that promise to you that I needed Philadelphia's municipal workforce to return to office to provide valuable supports and services to you, the taxpayers of the city of Philadelphia. I need us all right now to make a sacrifice for our city. And I want them to know, and I want you, Philadelphia, to know that this decision that I made, I didn't come to it lightly. This is what it has to be, 1,001% clear. I support Philadelphia's municipal workforce. I am a pro-worker, pro-union, pro-labor mayor. I am no Johnny-come-lately to supporting organized labor, and I have a track record to affirm it. And this decision in no way, shape, or form changes my commitment to and support of Philadelphia's municipal workforce.
So there she is holding her news conference. So they're in court today. And essentially the argument here back and forth is that the union is saying that, oh, no, we have to go back to the bargaining table because now we're doing something extra for you by coming back in person. And they're claiming that, oh, no, this is now a condition. So if you want us to come back, okay, that's a new condition that's negotiable. But for some workers, you see, they're saying it's non-negotiable. And believe it or not, the union actually said this. They said that, there are many who have childcare issues. So they're at home full time with their kids. And so they don't have childcare. And to suddenly say, oh, you have to be back by July 15th when school's not in session. Well, what are they going to do? Now, keep in mind, they've had plenty of notice because she announced this back in May, number one. Number two, I really think this one is unbelievable to me. And then they actually came out and said, she's going to lose some of the talent. They're going to get other jobs. Really? Because a lot of these are pretty high paying jobs. Yeah, good luck with that. Bye-bye. I really think she should let them walk. Let them go. You know what? You are free to get another job. We'll take the risk. 4,000 of these individuals. And it's a slap in the face to all of the people who, are paying for childcare and dealing with childcare, and they've been back to work. No, you need to come back to work now. I hope that she wins this, but either way, it's a win, right? Because I think the average person says, this is wrong. This is ridiculous. So that's my take on it. You can weigh in if you'd like, 855-839-1210. We do have Philadelphia labor leader John Doherty. He's facing his sentencing today and his second conviction. Remember, in the past 3 years, he's 64 years old and sentenced in court. And so he could face up to 14 years behind bars. So the convictions are bribery schemes, along with others, IBEW. It's a little surreal to me because I think of John Doherty, the many times I've interviewed him over the years. He used to come in regularly into when I was the 10 o'clock news anchor on Fox 29 locally for nearly a decade. And he used to come in regularly and we would interview him in the studio. And he was a biggity big. IBEW, bigger than life, John Doherty, and was kind of a media darling, if you will. And so what he's, I think, banking on, as his attorneys have begged for leniency because they've said that he did so much for union workers and that he did donate a lot and did so much for the community. And so that's the plea, and so we're waiting for that. We also have Gold Bar Bob, as he's nicknamed, Bob Menendez. So the jury, this is going to the jury this week. He, as well, is accused of taking nearly $600,000 in cash and gold bars. I think my favorite storyline that has come out of this week, if you will, is that the prosecutors have been painting Senator Bob Menendez, longtime player in Jersey politics, and they have been painting him as somebody who really controlled his household, controlled his wife Nadine. And because remember that Menendez, his defense team has said, no, Nadine was maybe doing some deals on the side that the senator had no idea what he was doing. He might have been taking some gifts for doing a good job as senator, but that the federal prosecutors were saying that Senator Menendez at home has a little bell. Ding-ding-ding-ding. Like, you know how sometimes the nuns in the schoolyard would ring the little bell? And that whenever he'd want, I don't know, a cocktail or his tea or his coffee, he'd ring the little bell. And Nadine would come running, "Oh, Bob, what can I get you?" And that he ran everything in the household and was kind of a control freak and ran that little bell. And that's how they're countering the defense attorneys who claim that no, the senator had no idea that his wife Nadine was doing some nefarious deals, throwing her under the bus. And by the way, she's battling very serious stages of breast cancer, underwent surgery. So I think they've said her trial is next month, but then there are others who say it's not going to happen. So all of that is underway. So awaiting word. Your take, 855-839-1210, the number to call. Oh, my goodness. I can only imagine if Larry Bear rang a little bell. He'd get a bell, all right.
It's so pretentious of him to do.
Did he really do that?
I could see it. I mean, this guy's a total sleazeball.
Is it like the I don't know if we have a bell sound effect, like a little, like, ding, like the old school bell. I think of Killian's hardware store in Chestnut Hill. Sometimes older stores have the bell, when you come into the shop, the old school bell, ding, or like at the library.
Might be before my time.
I know. Well, if you still go to the hardware store in the Chestnut Hill section of Philadelphia,
like when you walk
Killian's,
in, it kind of like scans you almost or whatever. And
it's
it goes off, like it's a scanner that goes off.
It's like but they literally have a little like brass bell that, like the old school days.
Oh, that's cool.
There's some stores, because we're an old city, like in Old City, Philadelphia, they still have that as a fun little tribute to the past.
Right.
So Bob, I guess.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, I guess Bob had his bell. You can ring my bell. We'll see if the jury buys it. Will they ring his bell, or will he get to ring his somewhere in here? Remember that song, "You Can Ring My Bell"? I don't know. We can have fun with that, man. Well, you can ring my bell if you want a little kitchen magic. Tired of your old kitchen or bathroom? Then you need to give my friends at Kitchen Magic a ring. They offer no shortage of solutions for any room in your home, okay? They do a beautiful job. Seriously, local employer and highly rated, rave reviews. With a new vanity, maybe a tub shower conversion, you're going to love that new bathroom. Plus, Kitchen Magic offers an industry-leading warranty. They also are a 10-year recipient of the Lehigh Valley's top workplaces. Right now, Kitchen Magic offering 12 months, no payments, no interest financing. Plus, Kitchen Magic is giving you 10% off the top off your remodel. So get your free in-home consultation today. KitchenMagic.com. KitchenMagic.com. You got to do this. KitchenMagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Weather sponsored by Wawa.
A drier air mass has returned to the Delaware Valley. It'll be partly sunny, still hot, but not quite as humid, with a high of around 90. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low 73. And for Friday, mostly cloudy with some heavy showers around, with a high 84.
Summertime's here, and it's Hoagie Fest. Get $5 shorties and $6 classics, always built to order with meats, cheeses, and veggies you love. Get your favorite hot or cold hoagie, or try something new. Only at Wawa Hoagie Fest.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS has raised the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes in recent years. This hits hard if you're behind on your taxes. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. If you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is, getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Philly police are looking for the shooter they say killed a convenience store clerk during an apparent robbery in the Frankfurt section of the city. The Atlantic City Air Show is canceled after organizers say the main act pulled out. And inflation cooled off in June for the third straight month.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Why are you paying for an AC system that's struggling to keep you cool? If you hear something funny, smell something burny, your AC is frozen or leaking water, or even feel warm air coming from your AC, it's time to call CNC. CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Lennox dealers, can make it a no-sweat summer for your entire household with one phone call. 0% financing options available. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit cc-hvac.com to request your estimate today.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Calling on Percy to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
All right, baby, put your roller skates on for this one as we continue on the Dawn Show. Lace them up, baby. Yeah, we're taking you a trip back to 1979 when you didn't even know what virtual was. You had to actually come in and work for a living. Yeah, taking you back right now, but before the woke culture.
Dawn Show DJ Jimmy Kelly. DJ Jimmy Kelly.
Yeah, I'm not DJ T, but DJ J.
DJ J.
DJ
yeah,
J,
so this
yeah.
as Bob Menendez, he rang the little bell for Nadine to answer his call. But what happens here? Federal prosecutors accuse Menendez of accepting bribes and disrupting state and federal criminal cases, acting as an agent of Egypt. His lawyers argue an acquittal would equate to success for America. Wow. So that jury is deliberating as I speak in the case of one Democrat Senator Bob Menendez. Political implications, obviously, because he's still polling at about 3% as an independent. Could this mess up that everybody thought it was a slam dunk for Democrat Andy Kim, but does this mess things up for Jersey? Could you even imagine if somehow Republican newcomer outlier businessman, Congress Hotel owner, can you imagine if Curtis Bashaw, who I interviewed last week, could sneak out a win here and become a Republican senator for New Jersey? Wow, who could have thunk it? 855-839-1210. We've got Lisa in Phoenixville. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Dawn. How are you?
Good. Thanks for calling.
I have an old bell from my grandmother's one-room schoolhouse.
Oh.
And I wanted to play it for you.
Please.
Okay, listen.
Yes.
Real hard. Can you hear it?
We can hear it. We can hear it. Now, yeah, that's what you wonder. Was it, what was Bob's bell? We have to get, and no reaction from Nadine. His whole defense, which is so lame. I mean, it's being called out to blame your wife and throw her under the bus, but in particular, a woman who is battling for her own life with battling reportedly stage 3 breast cancer after surgery. And then this is brutal, as federal prosecutors said he used an old bell like that one. Oh, my goodness. I can't even imagine. Lisa, thank you so much for calling. Big John in Huntington Valley. Hey, Big John.
Dawn. The only reason that Trump didn't go after Hillary was Bill Barr told him there wasn't enough evidence that would convict. That was it. And I would, as far as Trump weaponizing the Justice Department, please, dear listeners, read about Project 2025.
Yes,
and Trump's
I've
47.
talked.
Please,
you know what?
Read it.
Yes, I have read it. It's the Heritage Foundation. So we can go through this and talk about all of these different nonprofits.
Stop it. He's distanced himself, but just to get to the middle a little bit. Once they're back in, the people who wrote it all worked for him. Ask your audience,
there were many in his administration.
Fascist nation.
Oh, come on. It's a fascist nation?
Dawn, you're doing a disfavor to your audience.
I am not.
Intellectual honesty.
I am
yes,
not.
You are.
So wait, John, for the record, you are saying, honest to God, with a straight face, John, you are saying that you believe that Donald J. Trump is a fascist. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So John, why didn't he turn this into a fascist nation in 2016? Why didn't he turn this? Why then?
Because there were people in government who were able to put a lid on him.
But he was the president. He was the president, right?
Stop.
John,
Yeah,
I appreciate your call, and I always take the call, and I always have the conversation. But number one, I have read, and it's a lot. It's 900 pages. It's the Heritage Foundation. Did many of them work in his administration? Sure. Did they put that out there? Sure. What about President Obama? Let's just go back to then President Obama. Am I going to allege that if I look at all the different nonprofits who are to the left, that Obama subscribed and allowed them to write his policy? It doesn't make sense. Now, did Obama pick through and like some of those things and agree? Sure. Same with Trump. I would say, does he agree with some of what's in there, 900 pages? Sure. But to claim that any one of these think tanks, whether they're on the left or right, to claim any president, and I'll put this on the board, any president, whether it was Obama, whether it was Clinton, right, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, either way you look at it, these think tanks write their policy out, sure. But I don't know if any president, and I would say I would challenge you to this, any president who looked to any one of these think tanks and so, 100%, that's my policy, I'm going to adopt that. The answer is no. And to also, it's absurd to say it. And that's why I would give it, and maybe you're going to say, oh no, Obama, no president has done that. These think tanks have existed forever. They write these. Yes, they write their policy statements and basically suggestions. And perhaps they hope that future leadership will adopt what they're saying. But to infer that, yes, this is 100% exactly what Trump stands for, no. And I would even submit to you that that's part of the reason that the swamp in general fears people like Trump, who are so-called outsiders and were outsiders. When he came into office, he was really a first as a businessman. I think that they really fear him now because he doesn't owe anybody anything. You know who he owes? We the people. And he's a business guy, first and foremost. If Trump was or is a fascist, as you say, then why didn't he put forth these things when he was president and try to sneak things through with executive powers? because he's not a fascist. And that's just silly. I mean, that it really is. And I wouldn't call Obama the other things either that people want to say. It's just ridiculous, okay? Number two, what was the other thing I wanted to address with you? Oh, when you said Bill Barr said that he didn't have anything against Hillary. Well, I think there's a lot there. And by the way, let us remember, I'll take you locally, just to give you a local example. Let us not forget that locally, Mark Houck, who is a local dad who was dragged through the courts for years, and what happened in that federal court not far from where I'm broadcasting from, at the federal building, what happened? The judge in the case even was heard by witnesses who I interviewed, and you heard it live, as the judge was saying to the federal prosecutors, really, this is all you've got? So they didn't have it. They didn't have the case. That never stopped them from the weaponization of government. So it doesn't stop the weaponization of government when people are trying to go after others. We're seeing that in real time. So to say that he didn't go after them, well, we're seeing, look at the J6ers. Look at some of these cases now up for review because they tried to use a case from the Enron case, which was a financial case, and in that there was something about obstruction, and Jack Smith said, oh, obstruction, oh, ha, we can use that in the J6 case. It's absurd. You don't even have to be a lawyer to realize that. Thank God they set that record straight at the highest court in the land. But no, these terminologies, and it's a disgrace for anybody and an insult to any of our intelligence, that just because somebody says fascist and Project 2025, that we should all freak out and be afraid and then say, we're just going to listen to that and buy into it and drink that Kool-Aid. I'm never asking you to do that. Look at the issues. Read this stuff. Why do you think I give you the original documentation? We joke here about don't get your news from Twitter. I have never gotten my news from Twitter, ever. And if you know me in the morning, I'm printing out original documents, and pretty much every day I'm delivering them. Like today, I actually brought Nick an original. Yesterday, I did too. I'm looking at the original source of a document, and I'm printing it out or sending it to my colleagues. I want you to be well read. And if whoever you vote for, whatever you choose, I just want you to be well informed. Okay, that's the God's honest truth. So bring it. If you have evidence that any, God forbid, candidate for any office is an actual fascist and is conspiring to be a fascist, please, then bring forth the evidence and let's look at it and we'll parse through it together. Dawn Stensland here, 855-839-1210. Quick break.
We are Nancy and Robert Harding, and we became Crash Proof members in 2018.
It is important to go to a Crash Proof event. I went to the event. He wouldn't go.
I tend to be a little more skeptical.
He's skeptical.
If you're skeptical of the Crash Proof event, I'm probably the best witness you could get. I am convinced now. With the Crash Proof system, the interest gets credited to your account, and then you make interest on that new principal amount. I saw the 12% return. The compounding on that is going to just push our value up that much quicker.
Double-digit interest is possible any year. And he can thank his wife for going to that event. Can't you, honey?
Every good husband knows that that's what he should do. Listen to his wife.
Only Crash Proof Retirement can guarantee peace of mind in a legally binding, recorded financial meeting. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Downingtown Country Club, July 23rd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-403-5569 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-403-5569. That's 800-403-5569. What do you have to lose? Call 800-403-5569. Again, 800-403-5569.
Slim down this summer with NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's faster and safer than weight loss injections. Lose those extra pounds the safe and natural way without any shots. Get started at njdiet.com.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra in a tribute to Philly sports fans on the Boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey, Saturday, July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But the playoffs just ended. Boston Celtics won, and now we get fewer games. But it's okay. Have no fear, because with FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, it keeps the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. During the summer, FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg, and make the most out of your summer. You still have baseball. The Phillies are playing well. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Don't forget FanDuel.com/Greg. 21 and over, President Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Wager requirements apply. Bonuses awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets or profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including bonus expiration. See terms and conditions at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Yes, is The Simpsons, which celebrates its 35th anniversary, really the new 1984 George Orwell in predictions of the future?
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Well, remember when the last administration decided to invest in our nation's children? Big mistake.
The Balanced Breakfast program just created a generation of ultra-strong super criminals.
And midnight basketball taught them to function without sleep.
What about my pledge to build the world's largest bookmobile? Isn't there any money left for that?
No, and we borrowed from every country in the world.
So, Simpsons talked about Trump being president back in, 2000. We have exclusive audio now with Homer Simpson weighing in.
Wow, I just want to say it's a real pleasure to be here on the Dawn Show. And I know you promised me some beer, right?
Exactly.
Beer, but Donald Trump, one of the great presidents of 2024. It's going to be a great election. It's, just, don't!
I love it. I love it.
It was great.
That episode was produced during Trump's 2000 third-party run, apparently, and Jimmy Kelly, our own original voice, you do such a great job. That is hysterical.
Well, one of the things the Simpsons predicted many years ago, too, was if you're in radio, they had this episode called the DJ 3000, and this one was like, this is the DJ 3000. It plays CDs and a bunch of chatter, and it was like the original automation. So the Simpsons were way ahead of their time, yeah.
Very cool. I love it. The Simpsons. We just want to have a little fun because there's so much serious news and there's so much breaking. We could get today the jury, as the jury deliberates in Bob Menendez, will they find him guilty? Will they send him to the slammer? What about Johnny Doc? Will he be sentenced to jail? If so, what does that sentence look like? Of course, we have the Big Boy News Conference coming up with Joe Biden. That's coming up at 5:30 today. So much happening, and beyond that, do I have time to take Elizabeth? And because I'm going to be in Chester County today, and I hope that I see all of you. Trump Force 47, the Chester County office, and this is 15 South Church Street, right there between kind of Gay and High Streets, not far from Westchester University, Chester County. Elizabeth, I literally have like 30 seconds. I just wanted to take your call really quick.
Okay, I just wanted to say this country is in big trouble. I was talking to a college graduate yesterday, and I said, just out of curiosity, who are you voting for? She said, well, definitely not Trump because I don't want a dictatorship. And I said, dictatorship? I said, Biden represents a politically elitist class, a surveillance state, and he's trying to take away our freedom of speech, freedom of the press. I said, Trump is seeking to return power to the states.
Yes.
And that's what, and it just, they don't understand. This is someone who's supposed to be smart.
Yeah.
And they have no idea. They just believe anything that they say. Oh, Trump's a dictator. Anyway, so, all right.
Never in America.
So good luck.
Thanks,
well,
Elizabeth.
We love you, Dawn.
Thank you.
All
Love
right,
you back. Thank you so much. So the Dom Show continues. I will be out from 5 to 7 p.m. in Westchester, right? So I really hope to see you. It's going to be a great event. Trump Force 47, that's what they're calling it, the opening of the new office there. So check it out, Trump Force 47, Chester County, Westchester, PA. That's where I will be. And unfortunately, hopefully we can have a live stream perhaps, and we'll try to check out. We'll be listening to the Zioli show at that point. We'll also be trying to listen to the Biden news conference, the Big Boy News Conference. It's a big day, and it's a big Dom show coming right up. Hey, Dom.
Hey, Dawn, thank you. Wesley Hunt is going to be on at 12:30 today. A lot to talk about with him. And Charlie Giroux, the so-called unelected electors are back in the news big time. He was one of them in Pennsylvania. We'll find out why the media is wrong about it.
I look forward to it. Great interviews. Dom show, as always, great. I'll see you tonight, 15 South Church Street, Westchester, Pennsylvania, Trump Force 47, and you'll learn a lot. We'll have a lot of fun. Dom Show is next.
Harry, if you watch any more of those stupid financial shows, I'm filing for divorce.
How am I going to keep up with our retirement accounts?
At JML Financial Group, we want you watching your grandkids playing soccer and sunsets in Hawaii, not the latest rumor of a market crash. Surprisingly, with proper income planning, the stock market shouldn't even be a concern. The money came in every 2 weeks while you worked.